Here now let's start with the topic for refractive index. So the question is, because I have given the law of refraction, I told you in the law, the second law, Snell's law, that sin I divided by sin r is equal to refractive index. So let's go to the concept of refractive index. Question is, under the topic of refraction, question is, define refractive index right? I will write in mu now. Right now I am writing mu, but I will specify it. So define refractive index, that is mu, in terms of two things, in terms of speed of light, and second in terms of wavelength of light. My dear, what is the meaning of this? That we have the definition of refractive index in two concepts. One in terms of speed of light, and other in terms of wavelength of light, you can see. Right? These are the two concepts on which I have to define mu. But my dear, before I will define mu, let me tell you, refractive index are of two way, you can say. There are two kind of refractive index you will observe. Now which are they? They are absolute refractive index, right? That is called absolute Ri. In short form you should know Ri. Absolute Ri for refractive index. Take care now. Now teacher will say Ri, immediately you should say it is refractive index. And other is relative refractive index. That is relative Ri. Okay. Now my dear, when we represent absolute refractive index like this, listen it is like this. This is mu, and here it should be air or vacuum. This is air or vacuum. And here it is given medium. And here, when we represent relative Ri, it is mu 1, 2. It is mu, this is represent 1 here and 2 here. What is the meaning of this, my dear? I have told in my earlier video that what is the meaning of this? What medium I have written before mu? Please focus on it. Mu के पहले मैंने कौन सा medium लिखा है? Air or vacuum. Mu के बाद given medium. What is the meaning of this? Light travel from air or vacuum and going in a given medium. क्या मतलब हुआ इसका? Light will travel from air or vacuum. Light कहाँ से आ रही है? Air और vacuum से, है ना? mu से पहले लिखा है मैंने. और कहाँ जा रहा है? किसी given medium में. That given medium can be glass, can be alcohol, can be turpentine, can be kerosene, can any medium, can be diamond, any medium. We will see, we will watch in numerical which medium is given. But my dear, in absolute refractive index, out of the two medium, one of the medium is must be air or vacuum. Right? Whereas here the light coming from medium 1. Light coming from medium 1, you can see the light coming from medium 1 and it is going in medium 2. But neither one is air or vacuum, not medium 2 is air or vacuum. Here medium 1 and medium 2 are any medium other than air or vacuum. Please try to understand the distinguish between relative and absolute. एब्सोल्यूट में सर दो मीडियम रहते हैं, उसमें से एक मीडियम मस्ट बी एयर और वैक्यूम. Am I clear? और मैंने जैसे ये लिखा है इस हिसाब से सर लाइट कमिंग फ्रॉम एयर और वैक्यूम एंड गोइंग इन अ गिवन मीडियम, एंड यहाँ पे द लाइट कमिंग फ्रॉम मीडियम 1 and going in medium 2. So what is the note point, my dear? Very important note point. Here I am making the note. In absolute refractive index, absolute RI, refractive index, one of the medium must be air or vacuum. Please make a note of this. That is in absolute RI. You must be knowing from class 10. नहीं मालूम तो अभी RI अच्छे से करो. Otherwise you will be in trouble. Whereas note, in relative RI, that is relative refractive index, none of the medium is air or vacuum. This is supposed to be note. I hope it is clear. है ना? एब्सोल्यूट में एक मीडियम मस्ट बी एयर या वैक्यूम होगा सर, दूसरा मीडियम जो भी एग्जाम में या न्यूमेरिकल में दिया होगा दैट इज. बट इन रिलेटिव RI सर वी आर राइटिंग 1 and 2 नंबर्स में लिखते हैं. So in that case sir, neither 1 is air nor 2 is air. Am I clear? And the previous concept is same, that light coming from medium 1 going in medium 2. Here the light coming from air or vacuum and going in a given medium. That given medium can be any medium according to question. Okay. Now let's go to the definition. Now in terms of velocity, here I am writing definition. In terms of velocity, how I write this? This is mu. Here I have written vacuum, and here I have written given medium. Representation I am doing. So here the answer will be, my dear, light कहाँ से आ रहा है? Light is coming from vacuum. Light is coming from vacuum or air. Okay. So when I write the definition, see, use the common sense, use the logic. Light कहाँ से आ रहा है? Air से आ रहा है. I will take in numerator the speed of light in air, that is c. And light जहाँ जा रहा है, that velocity will come in denominator. Here v of medium, that is velocity of given medium, velocity of light in a given medium. क्या लॉजिक है सर? लाइट जहाँ से आता है, listen it carefully. लाइट जहाँ से आता है, I'm talking in Hindi so that you will understand. Otherwise, my dear, take care. These questions are very important. Definition not important, logic important. लाइट जहां से आ रहा है उसका स्पीड न्यूमरेटर में होता है, और लाइट जहां जा रहा है उसका स्पीड डिनोमिनेटर में होता है. आई होप इट इज क्लियर. लाइट जहां से आ रहा है, कहां से आ रहा है? लाइट एयर से आ रहा है. तो द स्पीड ऑफ लाइट इज इन एयर टेकन इन न्यूमरेटर. एंड लाइट कहां जा रहा है? इट इज गोइंग इन अ गिवन मीडियम. That speed of light in a given medium is taken in denominator. Similarly, my dear, same logic if I use here, definition, I am doing parallelly both the topic. In terms of velocity, in terms of velocity, this is mu 2 and here I have written 1. Now you tell me, light coming from which medium? First medium, so here it is V1. And light going in which medium? Second medium, so it is V2. Sir, why you have not written C anywhere? C alphabet? Because the C is the usual symbol used only for speed of light in air or vacuum. C एक यूजुअल सिंबल है, स्टैंडर्ड सिंबल है, जिसका मतलब होता है स्पीड ऑफ लाइट फॉर एयर और वैक्यूम. रेस्ट ऑल स्पीड इज डिनोटेड बाय V. किसी भी मीडियम में स्पीड इज डिनोटेड बाय V फॉर लाइट, बट एयर में है या वैक्यूम में है, इट इज डिनोटेड बाय वन एंड ओनली वन अल्फाबेट. वहां पे अपना रूल नहीं चलता है, एंड दैट इज C. So here the first medium was air because light traveling from air. I am defining absolute. एक medium air होना चाहिए. So the first medium is air. So उसका speed will come in numerator. So what is speed of light in air? Denoted by C. Divide by, it is going in a given medium. So that speed of light in a given medium will come in denominator. So simple. So what is the definition now? So the definition now will be thus absolute refractive index is the ratio of speed of light in air denoted by C to the speed of light in a given medium denoted by V, and here I suffix I have written medium. In a given I'll write here completely medium denoted by V medium. Simple. How I define here? Thus, relative refractive index is defined as the ratio of speed of light in medium 1 to the speed of light in medium 2. How much is the speed of light in medium 1? I can write here medium 1. Speed of light in medium 1 is V1 to the speed of light in medium 2. How much is the speed of light in medium 2? V2. I hope it is clear. I hope you are getting. This is the definition I am running parallelly both the topics. Absolute air and relative air. Now my dear, one more thing I wanted to tell you from this topic, which is very important to all. Let me check it out. What will be the answer for this? Example. If it is written mu here it is x and here y, what is the answer in terms of velocity? What is the answer? How will you read this? Refractive index of y. Please पहले read करना सीखो. How will you read this? Refractive index, mu is refractive index of y with respect to x. And in terms of velocity, how will you write down? कहाँ से light आ रही है? From which medium the light is coming? X. And which medium the light is going? Y. So which medium the light is entered? From medium X the light entered. Am I clear? So that velocity will come first, Vx. And light going in which medium? Sir, Y medium. So that velocity will come in denominator, and here it will be, my dear, Vy. That's all. This is the formula. Take care. If I write on here as mu mn, so answer will be Vm upon Vn. This is another example I have given. These are the example, my dear, for your practice. For your practice. I hope it is clear. Okay. Now the second is the definition in terms of wavelength of light. Now how I define in terms of wavelength of light? Now my dear, here I am writing in terms of wavelength of light. And here also I am writing in terms of wavelength of light. Now let us define in terms of wavelength of light. How will you define the definitions for absolute and relative Ri in terms of the wavelength? So in terms of wavelength of light, my dear, you all must be knowing one thing. Look at one important note. And what is that important note, my dear? I am writing here note, which is applicable for both the topic. Note. Now my dear, we all know that velocity is equal to distance upon time, or displacement upon time. Here I am not interested whether I am writing speed or whether I am writing velocity. So velocity or speed is distance or displacement upon time. I am not bothered about scalar vector. Please, we are doing light chapter. For us, distance and displacement is same when we are doing such topics. Now, you all must be knowing, my dear, in light, that is velocity of light wave. Velocity of light wave is distance upon time, because koi bhi velocity is distance divided by time. But my dear, what is distance in the light wave? Distance in the light wave is nothing but wavelength of wave upon time. Okay, पहले मैंने क्या सीखा है? Normal चीज. Velocity is distance by time, sir. So velocity of light wave is distance is nothing but in terms of light. Distance is calculated in terms of wavelength. Distance जो होता है light में, that is denoted by wavelength. So this is ultimately wavelength of divided by time. So now, my dear, the formula for velocity become velocity of light wave become lambda, that is wavelength, because it is lambda, wavelength is denoted by lambda, divided by time. I have written t, that is lambda by t. So if I write this as, this will be lambda into 1 by t. I have split this lambda by t को मैंने split किया, lambda upon t. I split it lambda into 1 by t. Now my dear, you all must be knowing 1 by t, this 1 by t is frequency. So here I am writing lambda into nu. Lambda into nu for frequency. I hope it is clear, right? So this will be lambda nu, and this will become velocity of light wave. So this, please take care of this formula, that velocity of light wave is given by a formula nu multiplied by lambda, or lambda multiplied by nu, where lambda is the wavelength and nu is the nu. I am spelling nu, where nu is the frequency of light. Right? Light की frequency है, इसलिए इसका symbol representation nu से होता है, nu. So right now, my dear, velocity का formula is lambda into nu. So now, my dear, what is a point to tell you about this? Then here we all know that mu, that is refractive index of given medium with respect to air or vacuum will be C divided by V medium. I have written as the top, since now C can be written as, C is what? Velocity, speed can be written as C is the speed of light where? In air. C is the speed of light in air. So speed of light or velocity of light is having a formula lambda into nu. So here this will become lambda in air multiplied by nu divided by, this is velocity in medium, so that is lambda in medium multiplied by nu. Now you can see here, my dear, here also I have taken nu and here also I have taken nu. But for lambda I have written here air and here for lambda I have written medium. Why? Because the lambda changes, wavelength of light changes. When it go from one medium to another medium, the wavelength changes. And that is the reason why the speed changes. Please take care. अगर speed change हो रहा है, because you all know that when the light go from one medium to another medium, speed changes. But my dear, speed का formula is lambda multiplied by frequency. So अगर speed changes, then lambda also changes. Frequency remain constant. When light go from one medium to another medium, its frequency remain constant. Take care. This is according to electromagnetic theory. My dear, electromagnetic wave theory, EMW, the electromagnetic wave theory says, please aap mujhe suno, the electromagnetic wave theory says the frequency of light does not change by changing of medium. Frequency is remain as it is. You can see here also new, here also new. Air may be frequency is new, and in a given medium also the frequency is new. And why frequency does not change according to electromagnetic theory? Because sir, ये जो light आ रहा है, the source of light is remain constant. Light एक medium से दूसरे medium में गया, that is one thing. But light का जो source है is one and only one. In air medium also, in a denser medium also. Because same light is going from air to denser, na? But when the source of light, जहाँ से light आ रही थी, जहाँ से शुरू हुआ light का आना, that source is one and only one. Since source of light is not changing, hence frequency does not change when it changes the medium. I repeat, my dear, why the frequency does not change? Because the source of light, जहाँ से light आ रही है, medium is changing, but the source of light from where the light originated, that is one and only one. And since sources remain same, therefore frequency does not change, even the medium get changes. Only its wavelength changes. I hope it is clear. Why wavelength changes? Because sir, we know very well, we all know the speed of light changes in a different medium. Am I clear? So you can say wavelength changes because speed का formula में wavelength multiply by frequency formula है. So this will be frequency and frequency cancel. So the formula will become lambda A divided by lambda medium n. I hope it is clear. Similarly here also, if I use the same logic, what will be the answer for mu2 with respect to 1? Refractive index of 2 with respect to 1. Here I am writing similarly. This will be V1 upon V2. So this will be lambda 1 multiplied by nu. Lambda 1 multiplied by nu divided by lambda 2 multiplied by nu. So simple logic. If it is C here, I have written lambda A here, and V medium, I have written lambda medium. But here it is 1 and 2. So here lambda 1 multiplied by frequency, for V2 lambda 2 multiplied by frequency. Frequency cancel. Answer will be lambda 1 divided by lambda 2. So what is the definition, my dear, in terms of wavelength? What is the definition in terms of wavelength, my dear? The definition in terms of wavelength, it is the absolute refractive index is the ratio of wavelength of light in air to the wavelength of light in a given medium. To the wavelength of light in given medium. So my dear, take care. This is the formula in terms of speed and this is the formula in terms of wavelength. This is the formula in terms of speed and here is the formula in terms of wavelength. Here how I define? Thus, relative refractive index is the ratio of wavelength of light in medium 1 to the wavelength of light in medium 2. So I hope, my dear, you all clear with the entire detailed study of the refractive index, which is denoted by mu, in terms of speed of light and in terms of wavelength of light. And remember, my dear, there are two RI we are supposed to know with the syllabus point of view. One is absolute and other is relative. Sir, in absolute RI, out of the two medium, because RI word, refractive index word is always occur for pair of medium. RI में हमेशा मीडियम का पेयर रहता है. सो सर, जब मैं एब्सोल्यूट RI की बात करता हूं तो एक पेयर एक मीडियम में, दो मीडियम में एक मीडियम इज मस्ट बी एयर और वैक्यूम. बट जब हम रिलेटिव RI की बात करते हैं तो दोनों मीडियम में नन ऑफ द मीडियम इज एयर और वैक्यूम. एंड सेकेंड, माय डियर, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, जो मैं म्यू से पहले लिखा है यहाँ पे 1, which means the light coming from medium 1 going in medium 2. Now that medium 1 can be rarer, that medium 1 can be denser. Okay, but यहाँ पहले 1 लिखने का मतलब है light is coming from 1 and going into. Here the meaning is that light coming from air or vacuum and going in a given medium. तो जहाँ से light आती है उसका speed न्यूमरेटर में होगा. तो यहाँ light कहाँ से आ रही है? एयर या वैक्यूम से आ रही है. So speed of light in air will be in numerator and speed of light in a given medium, जहाँ light जा रही है, that speed is come in denominator. Similarly here also, the light coming from medium 1, so speed of light will be in medium 1 will be in numerator, V1. It is going in medium 2, so that speed of light will come in denominator V2. The next concept that I have given in terms of wavelength, I tell you speed is nothing but distance by time, distance is nothing but wavelength. For light, distance wavelength है, that is lambda and time is t. So ultimately speed का formula या velocity का formula हो गया lambda divided by t. Now next what I did, I have split lambda divided by t as lambda into 1 by t, and 1 by t, my dear, is called frequency. That is denoted by nu, because हम light की frequency लिख रहे हैं. So the formula हो गया lambda multiplied by nu. That is the formula lambda nu. Lambda nu is the formula for speed. Speed का formula. तो अगर मैं एयर में दे रहा हूं, एब्सोल्यूट के लिए फॉर्मूला क्या है? दिस इज C by V medium. So C will be turned into, C will transform into lambda nu के टर्म्स में C ट्रांसफर्ड हो गया. तो C का फॉर्मूला हो जाएगा lambda air multiply by frequency. एयर नहीं लिखा. I have not written air anything. But lambda के साथ I have written air. Why? Because sir, frequency does not depend on medium. Frequencies remain constant when light go from one medium to another medium. So and therefore in the suffix of frequency के suffix में मैंने कहीं पर कोई medium mention नहीं किया है, because frequency in air and frequency in given medium will remain same. Frequency in medium 1 and frequency in medium 2 is remain same. तो only wavelength will come and picture. So air light का velocity of light air में है, तो lambda in air साथ में सामने numerator में आ गया. वेलोसिटी ऑफ लाइट इन मीडियम है, लैम्डा इन मीडियम डिनोमिनेटर में आ गया, बिकॉज यू ऑल नो दैट वेलोसिटी इज लैम्डा मल्टीप्लाई बाय फ्रीक्वेंसी. तो जो है एयर है तो लैम्डा एयर मल्टीप्लाई बाय फ्रीक्वेंसी, वी मीडियम लैम्डा मीडियम मल्टीप्लाई बाय फ्रीक्वेंसी, फ्रीक्वेंसी फ्रीक्वेंसी कैंसल, फर्दर आई गॉट लैम्डा एयर बाय लैम्डा मीडियम. नाउ लुकिंग टू दिस आई कैन डिफाइन दे आर रेशियो ऑफ, जैसे मैंने यहाँ रेशियो में स्पीड ऑफ लाइट इन एयर बोला था, अब यहाँ बोलूंगा इट इज अ रेशियो ऑफ speed of wavelength of light in air to the wavelength of light in a given medium. यहाँ बोला था to the speed of light in given medium. तो जहाँ speed word बोल रहा था अब wavelength बोला, same हो. So one definition in terms of speed, another definition in terms of wavelength. Similarly for relative RI also. So I hope you all clear. And at last my dear, RI के पास, RI is one of the physical quantity because RI measure होता है, right? So Ri is a physical quantity, but it is unitless and dimensionless. You can see, my dear, अब आप छोटे नहीं हो, it is unitless and dimensionless quantity because it is the ratio of two same quantity. Numerator में भी velocity, denominator में भी velocity, numerator में wavelength, denominator में भी wavelength. So sir, ultimately चाहे वो speed के term में हो, चाहे wavelength के term में हो, Ri is refractive index is unitless and dimensionless quantity. That's all, my dear. This is all about Ri. Now in my next video I will tell you about who caused the refraction, why refraction causes. So the topic will become cause of refraction, and I'll discuss with you a principle of reversibility in the case of refraction. Thank you all. Jai Hind.